from Gsport, and today we have another video. It's brand's Honda S2000. It's equipped with a TTS supercharger kit, and it also has a new engine management system which we're going to get into and I want to show you a bit about because it's a new offering from Motorsports Electronics. So come on ahead with me and I'll show you around the car. So yeah, this is brand's S2000 here. He has had the car in storage for a number of years, so I think he said to me about 4 years the car was in storage for when he was away out of the country or so on. So he brought the car up, and he also brought up a large box full of some nice CNC machined aluminium parts and bits of pipework and all sorts of things, and they all came together to make the TTS Rotrex supercharger kit. So it's running a C38 supercharger from Rotrex. I'm sure plenty of people have seen these Rotrex kits before, all from TTS. They are really well made kit. They're well put together, they're well machined, well made, all that sort of stuff. They fit properly, and they come with more or less everything you need. They come with a fuel pump, they come with 800cc Deutschworks injectors, these were. They come with everything else. The only thing they don't have as part of the kit is an upgraded map sensor and engine management system, so that was sourced in here. So in this case we put the Motorsports Electronics ME221. Now this is a brand new ECU for Motorsports Electronics. The guys over there, Matt and Stuart and the rest of the guys, they've been working hard to come up with some new plug and play units, and this is one of the more recent ones, so there aren't too many of these about just yet. There's only a few. And I think, at least at the time of this video, I think this is the first ME221 that's running a car with a Rotrex, you know, or forced induction in it, so it'll be interesting to see the results. So yeah, I'll just run you through the kit here anyway. So obviously, I mean, you can't really miss it, the big supercharger in the middle there, all the intercooler pipe work. We have the oil reservoir this is the oil for the charger itself, so the inlet and the outlet line here. These lines also run down and underneath the car there to, you can just about see the fitting for the oil cooler in there, sits just in front of the intercooler. Again, all part of the TTS kit. Everything's there and it all fits really well, so there's not too much fiddling about and all that sort of stuff. This plate in here, I have to just show you this. This is albeit you'll not see it there, but if you look online you'll see the instructions, and this plate with all the pulleys and everything, that's a nice piece of engineering there. It's really well made. It has all the tension adjusters there, so this is a tension adjuster, and there's also a spring loaded tensioner down in below that and behind the plate there. So everything goes together really well. And happy enough with this kit. It operates flawlessly. It's a good job. In its factory form, this kit is only putting out about 0.8, maybe 0.9 bar of boost, just with the pulley that comes on the charger. So in this car, for reasons I'll explain shortly here, that was just about enough that we wanted to run, really, because we were faced with a couple of limitations which sort of prevented us from running more boost at this stage. So we'd rather keep the thing safe, so we can get everything else sorted. So here we are. This is the ME221 software, called the Mighty software, which stands for Motorsports Electronics Integrated Tuning Environment. So look, you will have seen, if you've watched any of the videos before, you will have seen me talk about this software. It's a great software, and again, the guys are always updating this, so it's always getting bits and bobs added to it, features added, firmware updates, all that sort of stuff. And it has improved vastly, at least in the time since I've been using it. So the guys are on the ball, and they keep updating everything. So this is just a quick look through the software. Absolutely everything in here is completely configurable, and even down to the menu layouts, you know, where you want to put your gauges, all that sort of stuff. Again, bear with me because I'm doing everything through a camera screen here on my phone, so I mean, where you'll probably spend most of your time tuning one of these is on the mapping page. And again, I've rejigged this about slightly just to keep things sort of on the screen and stuff. This is a smaller screen laptop, so it doesn't display everything just as well. So I've rejigged the main ignition table here. Used to be over to the left and sort of off the screen, so I've rejigged it about so we have all the fuel parameters all up here. So every fuel parameter there is around the fuel table. And again, as you go down, it'll all be sort of more ignition related. So you have ignition, advance angle, that sort of stuff. You can add parameters, you can add gauges, you can add all sorts of stuff. You can also go up to, let me just see, it's in view, I think, yeah, layout manager. So here obviously are all your menus, you know, your menu titles, which would be all these titles across the top of the screen here. So you can add to these, you can change them, you can move them about, you can do all sorts, you can create new ones. So that's all okay for the minute. And again, on each menu, let's see, we'll go into VVT, VTEC. There's no VVT on the S2000 engine to speak of, but we do obviously have VTEC. So it's just on simple mode, which is just an on-off switch. And the only real parameters we use would be these down here, and as far as switching goes. Again, you can go in the system, you can add, like for example, you know, if you want to add alternator duty, there we go, we have it on the screen, you can move it about, do whatever you want. So it's a great configurable software, and it actually, you know, it pays off to spend a bit of time before you start to tune, to lay it out as you feel you want it and as it sort of suits you, so that you can find everything easier. So yeah, this is we started with a base map this is from the Motorsports Electronics website. There was a factory Honda S2000 base map, and we've worked off that. We've changed, you know, simple stuff like injector size, now up to 800cc, obviously for our Deutschworks injectors. You know, we changed things for the map sensor, so if you go into your sensor calibrations, of course you can set out, let me see, just down the bottom here. Again, bear with me, it's very slow because I'm trying to do everything through the camera here. So yeah, sorry, that's the wideband input there. Again, we're running an Innovate, it's an MTXL Plus, so it's sitting in the car there at the minute. I'll show you that. It's running and connected up to the ECU. We have, yeah, here's our map, HRT. So this is now running the Speed Factory 4-bar map sensor. So it's set up to run that. A little bit of tweaking just to get it to read properly. It was set up in here using a known good map sensor, that sort of thing. And if I go again into the mapping screen, I'll just show you again. So the wideband is set up, albeit this laptop is sitting on top of the car. It's not connected to the car at the minute. But here we have our current wideband 02, current AFR, which will obviously come from the wideband, the Innovate wideband. We have our target, and then obviously you have your AFR error. So this is really handy for tuning and stuff, going through the steady state sales and all that sort of thing. Great job. But yeah, this S2000 plug-in, it's just new out there recently in the last couple of months. So and it's pretty much, it's going to rival what used to be the sort of standard option for the S2000, the AP1 version. Would have been the likes of the AEM plug-in. So this is another brand new option here, and I think it's a better option. I mean, it's better priced, it's fully configurable, it gives you proper control over the engine, does everything the AEM does and probably more, and it's more modern software, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, this is the one I would be going for if I was choosing myself. So again, quickly just inside the car there, I'll show you. Very simple. I mean, it's not even switched on at the minute. This is the MTXL Plus. Again, I think Brian actually got this one himself. I think he got it given as a gift or something like that. So, but these can be sourced in here at Gsport. Everything's built into this gauge, so you don't have a separate controller. Everything's built into the gauge. Obviously, you have a gauge display, and you can mount this wherever you want. We just leave it with a length of cable on it. It's all mounted and connected up now, so Brian can fit this wherever he sees fit later on. So it's It's a handy job. Um, I'll go on ahead and show you the ECU and the enclosure here in just 1 second. So this is the actual ECU itself. Some of the ME boards come with an onboard map sensor. This one doesn't, but it's fine. We just use the map sensors to say the Speed Factory one that we've installed there on the throttle body. So that suits well. It's the same map sensor as any sort of Honda data system or anything like that would use. But of course you can't get Honda data for the AP1, so this is, in my opinion, the best option as far as tuning goes for these cars. So it bolts into the factory enclosure. We have just a hole cut here just for the serial, the comms lead for the laptop. Much more modern electronics, should I say, than the factory Honda system, but great little ECU, fits perfect, no issues. And as I say, we will get a final dyno run done here. The car is tuned already. We'll get a final dyno run, so keep watching the video, you'll see the dyno run of the car, and then we'll get a look at the results afterwards. Okay, so this is the end result for Brand's S2000 with the Rotrex kit. So we have here our dyno graph, and bear with me as I say, just to I'll show you a couple of different things here. We'll have a comparison here from a standard S2000. So we have our horsepower here, and the blue one is our torque. So first thing I want to show you just is our manifold pressure. So as we can see here, this white line here is manifold pressure, so you can see that if we look at our scale on the left here, now okay, this is our manifold pressure scale. This goes from 0 up to 3 bar. That's 3 bar absolute, so that's not 3 bar boost pressure, so anything from 0 to 1 is vacuum. So this will basically be full throttle for a non-turbo car or a non-boosted car. We'll have a reading of 1. So just so you know what you're looking at. So we start off here on the typical Rotrex style, and this is the way they're designed and the way they deliver their power, or their boost, should I say, their boost pressure. It's virtually a straight line right until red line, and the manifold pressure, the boost pressure, just keeps climbing and climbing right up until red line. That's typical of the Rotrex, as I say, that's the way they're designed. The benefit of that is that because it's linear, you don't have you know, it's not like a turbo car where you would have sort of boost will lag and then it will build and it will flatline, so you'll get that sort of kick in the back, that type of thing. So the reason these work so well on especially Hondas is because you have this linear boost pressure, and when you drive the car, it's still the engine still feels like a Honda engine, so it still feels very peaky, very revvy, all that sort of stuff, but it just produces a lot more horsepower and a lot more torque. So it still feels like a factory designed engine rather than completely changing the whole dynamic of the engine. So that's why a lot of people like these Rotrex kits. Some people don't, some people prefer turbo. So yeah, this is the power, this is the boost pressure. So we're peaking there literally just under 2 bar absolute. So that's just under 1 bar of boost here. We're peaking at red line. It's making peak horsepower there at, sorry, the figure was 337 horsepower at 7,900 RPM. And what I mentioned earlier on in the video was the couple of limitations we have with this car are, one is that we're still running the factory exhaust manifold, and the catalytic converter is still in place, unfortunately. Brian already actually has new parts to replace those, but because we just wanted to get the car sort of out of storage, get it built, get it running, everything, it's running with those in at the minute. So the fueling is sort of extra Ritz and that sort of stuff, just to keep the catalytic converter happy and all that. And the other issue that we have is the fuel tank was filled to the brim with 95 RON fuel, so just standard unleaded fuel. So we were a bit conservative with ignition timing and stuff like that. So 337 horsepower at just under 1 bar of boost. That's a decent enough figure considering that. So I mean, I'm more than happy with that. So that's not bad. When we get the other bits and bobs on, we'll put fresh fuel in it, probably up at 297 RON. We'll fire an extra bit of timing in, but might even go for a smaller charger pulley, which will give us more boost and that sort of thing. But we'll sort that out later on. So that's a good result there for what we have. 231 foot-pound of torque. Again, torque's made a bit lower in the RPM range. I was going to explain that. So what I'm just going to do is just show you a comparison. Let me just get rid of the boost pressure here first. And I'll show you a comparison to a factory Honda S2000, or one that at least has, you know, sort of light mods, maybe air intake, cutback exhaust, something like that, or maybe even decal. I can't remember actually what the spec was on this one. But this one above here, it made 228 horsepower. Again, that was on a factory ECU. That's typical of a S2000. They're supposed to be 240. Generally, they make a bit less than factory sort of claimed output, whereas the Civics and that would make slightly more usually. So this is the comparison. Excuse the chainsaw in the background there. This is the comparison here over the factory power output. So it looks a bit messier, so I'll just get rid of the torque, let's say. We're looking at just horsepower here. So again, factory horsepower from an S2000. Again, this is with the Rotrex kit installed, and you can see from our zero line here, I mean, you're going from 230 up to 340 almost. So it's a big enough jump for that small boost level. And again, you can see as we go, you know, the boost climbs and climbs and climbs, so you can see it pulls more horsepower the higher the RPM gets. So I feel a bit like a weather guy standing pointing at a screen here. So look, that's Brian's S2000, that's a Rotrex kit. And one thing I did want to say just before the end of the video is that we will now be doing a sort of special package deal for the Honda S2000 with this exact kit, this exact ECU, this exact setup. Of course, you stand to make a bit more power than this if you're running super unleaded fuel, if you have your catalytic converter removed, that sort of thing, any other mods that can help you along. So I would say on most S2000s, that's probably about the least you will get, is sort of 340 horsepower. So we will be announcing a package deal for this, so keep an eye out on the Facebook page, keep an eye out on the website. There will be a complete package, sort of drive in, drive out deal, and we'll do a special introductory offer on it as well. So yep, thanks for watching, and as I say, keep an eye out for the deal, and if you're looking at any parts, give us a shout.